and welcome to the Pain and Panic podcast. I'm Chris Reynolds, joined by Blue Jays fan Adam Sheets. We have a lot of football to talk about week 9, but first we're going to jump right into the World Series, then go to football. So, Game 7 the other night, Blue Jays led the series 3-2. The Dodgers come back, win Game 6. They go to Game 7. The Blue Jays 2 outs away. And then 36-year-old Miguel Rojas, the 9-hitter, comes up to bat. Ohtani's on deck. Everyone's just waiting for that matchup. Ohtani. But right before little old Miguel Rojas hits one, it's gone. Dodgers tie the game, go to extra. Blue Jays blow an opportunity bottom of the 9th. Dodgers blew an opportunity top of the 10th. Go to the 11th. Will Smith hits a home run. Bottom of the 11th. Blue Jays get a leadoff double from Vladdy. Does not matter. Alejandro Kirk gets to a double play. Series over. Dodgers win for the third time in the 2020s. Blue Jays choke. Adam, I'll let you talk about your Blue Jays, but how are you feeling? A lot of people texted you asking, and you didn't answer anything about baseball. I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, thanks. Yeah, I really needed the play-by-play recap.
In case anyone was unaware.
Yeah. Well, first off, it was a tough night. If anyone's ever watched the show Winning Time on HBO Max, that show ends with Magic Johnson sitting in the shower, just in his uniform, just in silence for about an hour. That was me last night. I just sat there in silence for an hour. My sister checked on me after game. She says, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Just walked upstairs, ignored everyone, sat in the darkness. No, it's a tough loss. I mean, I think you can make an argument the Blue Jays were closer to winning the World Series than maybe any team ever. Just you look at Game 6's opportunities, Game 7's opportunities, whether it be in the game, how many opportunities they've had. But when you're playing a great team like the Los Angeles Dodgers, who might be the greatest team of all time, when you look at talent-wise and everything they're going to have, we'll look back on it. Record-wise and statistically, they're not going to be that, but just with the way they were built and some of the greatest players ever that they have on their team, maybe the greatest player ever is on their team right now, you can't give them any extra life. You had chances to put them away. The Blue Jays left 22 guys on base in the last two games, Game 6 and 7. They had opportunities at the bottom of the 9th. IKF comes in to pinch run and for some reason slides into home instead of just running through home, which is what you're supposed to do.
And also, terrible jump off a third.
Yeah.
No secondary lead at all.
Yeah. You have the great hit by Ernie Clement, who I hope no one forgets, because Ernie Clement just had one of the greatest postseasons of all time. So hopefully no one forgets that. Most hits in a postseason ever. He comes up in the 9th. Great hit on a low pitch. Just kind of golfs it out over Kike Hernandez's head all the way to the wall. But Andy Pages, who got to give credit to, Coach Roberts on their side. Dave Roberts did a phenomenal job. He called a perfect game on Saturday. I mean, you just look at it. He put Andy Pages in literally put him in for the I forget who was coming up. Who hit before Clement? Oh, Varsho. Put him in for Varsho because they wanted a better arm out in center field. And he puts him in and then literally comes up with the big catch over Kike. Kike's probably not making that catch. Would have been over the shoulder. Would have been a really tough play. Pages comes off. They don't even call each other off. They collide. But it's one of the greatest catches you'll ever see. And just the suspense. I mean, Game 7 had everything. I think you make an argument it's the greatest Game 7 in the history of baseball. The bench is even cleared, which made it even more fun. It's just the series. It's going to be remembered as one of the greatest baseball series of all time when you look at it. An 18-inning game. So many good things back and forth. It was a really evenly matched series, and the Dodgers getting it done in the 11th inning the way they have. So, credit to them. Back-to-back World Series champs for the Dodgers. They continue to build off what could be a scary dynasty. But it's really tough for the Blue Jays, who really scratched and clawed their way there and come up short. And you don't know if this team's going to be together next year because, Bo Bichette's going to be a free agent, going to have a lot of moving parts. So we'll see what decisions are made. But it's definitely tough, Chris. It has not been an easy day, to say the least.
I think this would have been one of the best World Series ever, except the Dodgers winning kind of takes the wind out of that sail in the sense of the Blue Jays were kind of David versus Goliath. They were, the smaller team, the Dodgers, biggest payroll, all the stars, all that stuff. So when the Blue Jays, they had that crazy, 18-inning game or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Then they win 2 games in LA, then they come so close. Game 6 was great. Game 7, still, it was always close. If the Blue Jays won, you'd be like, wow, what a series. But now, not many people were rooting for the Dodgers unless you're actually a Dodgers fan, And I think that just is going to stick with a lot of people. Not many people went to bed happy the Dodgers won. And I think, it's kind of like Cleveland against that Cavs team in 2015. if the Warriors won that, it would have been a great series, but like we wouldn't think of it like we do now, where it's LeBron's block, Kyrie's shot, and like Cleveland finally won. It would be like, oh, the Warriors won another year in a row. They were really good. The best team won. It's kind of more fun when you have an upset, when you get, it feels like it pays off instead of like, well, the Dodgers should have won in the first place, but, the Blue Jays made it close. Just kind of, for me, that kind of didn't feel great.
I don't think it did at all. I don't
Huh?
think it did at all. I don't think that negated it at all, because guess what? It's going to be remembered a lot more, because they're going to be, when Yoshinobu Yamamoto's going into the Hall of Fame, they're going to say, hey, remember the World Series he had where he got 3 wins and he started to get a complete game in Game 2, wins a must-win Game 6, and comes in and pitches 3 innings in Game 7 literally the next day? They're going to remember it. They're going to talk about Shohei Ohtani's great game. Of course, had one of the greatest games in baseball history in the 18-inning game. Reached base 9 times. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Maybe it's a New York thing of like the Mets and the Dodgers, or the Mets and the Yankees both hate the Dodgers right now. Like it is that all-time hate for that team. So seeing the Dodgers win really is just annoying. But I don't know. I think I think the moment that would have made the World Series the best, if Vladdy hit that home run, it was
10
just
feet short, man.
Yeah, it was like just off the end of the bat, but when he hit it, he kind of stopped, and I was like, "Oh, did he get it?" I think everyone kind of had the thought like he might have hit it out. If that went out, like yeah, obviously his dad is a legend. He himself is amazing. If he hit that out, that would have gone. I would have maybe thought that was the best World Series ever. A walk-off home run and win it like that. And it wasn't like the cleanest ending, but it was a great series. I'll give you that. Sorry that they lost. I hate the Dodgers as well. I really wish Vladdy hit it. And sometimes we see that with superstars, like they just want it so bad and it falls just short. I remember Alonso a few years ago. It was like it was 9/11 Mets versus Yankees, and they were having like a great matchup, and it was on ESPN. And the Mets were down like their final out, and then or it was like an opportunity like in the 8th or 9th to like go ahead and win the game, and it was like reminiscent of Mike Piazza in 2001 doing it, and Alonso hit it just off the end of the bat, but like you saw in his face, like he wanted it to go so badly, he almost rolled the ball out, and it fell just short on the warning track. Not that was a World Series Game 7.
Did you just compare Game 7 of the World Series to just a regular season baseball game between the Yankees and the Mets?
It was not a regular season. It was not just a normal game. It was the 9/11 game, Mets versus Yankees, and there was a lot behind it.
Okay, yeah, but
there was a lot of weight to that game, Adam. Like, it was the first time that those two teams played each other on 9/11, so like all the eyes were on it. It's the sense of like you just want it to go, and you're trying to will it to go, and it's the Superstar falls this short. That's what that reminded me of. But obviously, the World Series is bigger, Adam.
Game 7 of the World 9/11,
Series. You're competing against Adam. Be more respectful.
Everybody in the baseball world was watching Game 7 of the World Series. Okay. Everybody in Canada was watching Game 7 of the World Series. Everybody in Japan was watching Game 7 of the World Series.
Adam, obviously that's a huge deal. I'm just saying, for a very big game, probably one of the biggest regular season games without playoff implications of just like this day, 9/11, New York versus New York. It was a big deal, okay?
Yeah, there's been big regular season games.
That was one of the biggest regular season games I can remember feeling the weight of. It felt like everyone was watching.
Yes,
and it was New York versus New York. It was a big deal.
But there's probably a lot of people that, live in Kansas City who are going to say, a regular season game between two New York teams. I mean, I know it's 9/11, but like...
It was a big deal, I think, for both fan bases and New York, okay?
So both fan bases and New York. We're talking about the world of baseball with this one.
I'm not saying it's bigger. I'm just saying in my head of, like, in a big moment, and also, like, the fact was Mike Piazza had a home run in that same spot that Alonso was in. That is, like,
yeah.
In terms of Mets moments, it is probably, like, number 2 or 3 all time of, like, right after 9/11, Piazza this home run to go ahead. And Alonso...
That's
was like
crazy.
This close to replicating the same exact thing.
That's crazy that the second or third greatest moment in your franchise is a regular season baseball game. So
it was the first home game since 9/11. It was a packed stadium, and Mike Piazza had a go-ahead home run of the 8th as people were crying, waving flags around, okay? It was an emotional moment.
But I mean, if we're talking about recreating moments, I mean, Vladdy was trying to recreate Joe Carter's walk-off home run in the World Series.
Adam, you're going up against 9/11 here. I'm gonna say that
I'm not trying. I'm not saying
special in different ways.
Yes, but that's like me comparing, a big regular season game like LeBron's return to Cleveland.
Big regular season game.
Yeah, but it's Game 7 of the World Series.
Adam, I'm not saying. I'm just saying it was a very big moment in a very big game, and the best player on the team fell just short of hitting the home run to win it. But like you saw it in their face, Adam. I'm talking about like that feeling of the star player hitting that ball that goes on the warning track to win the game. You know, that's what that
I
reminded
get
me
it,
of.
but it's just we're talking about Game 7 of the World Series.
Adam, the point still stands. That's what it reminded me of like seeing the star player fall just short and they wanted it so badly.
For a Mets fan's perspective, maybe, but I mean,
If you like know if you're a Mets fan and you're watching that game and you're having Mike Piazza flashbacks, you're playing a team you hate, and that game feels like everything in that moment, and then he falls just short, and then me, not a Blue Jays fan, watching Vladdy fall just short of hitting a walk-off home run. That's what that felt like, Adam. I'm
All right,
sorry. That I feel
all
like
right.
both star players fell just short of a home run when they really wanted it.
Yeah,
That's the
one star
similarity.
player fell just short of hitting a home run and went up and played the next day. The other guy's got to think about it for the next 5 months. He's got to sit around and just
sorry,
think
Adam.
about it
You
for the next
can
5 months. Yeah.
keep disrespecting. It's okay.
I'm not disrespecting 9/11. I'm disrespecting the fact that you would compare a regular season baseball game to Game 7
I've
of the
never
World
once
Series.
compared the game. I'm
You
just
said
saying
it was similar to this, a regular season game.
the look and feel of the best player hitting a ball to the warning track, where it's like just off the end of the bat, but like you're so
I
close.
thought you'd compare the game to, like the Yankees being 3 outs away from winning a 4th straight World Series.
I don't
and
care
not
about
getting
the
job
Yankees
done.
winning their fourth straight World Series. I'm not a Yankees fan.
Exactly. But we're not saying we're saying baseball. We're talking in generalities. We're not just talking
I know,
fan
but I don't
bases
think
here.
about the Yankees not winning their fourth in a row.
We're
We're gonna
suppo-
we're gonna have to beat that out. Adam brought up the Yankees.
I'm not editing it out. That's on you at that point. So, no, I mean, I'm doing a good job here. I'm being calm. My team just lost the World Series in 7 games, and I'm being okay. I'm trying to talk as a
You're too
baseball
calm.
person.
You're taking your energy out on me saying that the Mets.
Because I'm trying to talk as a baseball fan, not a Blue Jays fan. You're talking as a Mets fan.
Yeah, because I'm a Mets fan.
I mean, do you not like baseball? Like,
I really don't care much about baseball if it doesn't pertain to my team. But like, if it's a World Series, I'm watching. But like, I don't care nearly as much.
like it's just
Like the
Also,
Super Bowl, Bowl, anyone will watch. For me, baseball's like I'll put it on, but like I don't unless it's like a super interesting World Series.
You know what? Okay, so now we'll get to an actual comparison I had for this. This felt like Cleveland in 2016.
Basketball.
We're talking baseball, Chris. We're talking baseball.
Oh, you're comparing it to another baseball one. Okay.
Yes, Cleveland, Chicago. Now, of course, the Cubs.
This
and
was
the Dodgers are
nothing
very
like
good.
that.
The Indians getting to the World Series from a long drought, just like the Blue Jays did, trying to get back and win it, and they come up just short in a Game 7 game. I'm not saying the Cubs are comparable to the Dodgers. I'm saying
That's
the Blue
what
Jays
I
are
mean. That's
comparable
why
to
that
Indians.
2016 comparison doesn't work. Because
I'm comparing the Blue Jays to the Indians. I'm not comparing the Cubs to the Dodgers or the series the same.
I
I'm
didn't know
comparing the
that
Blue
at first
Jays
when
to
you
the
said
Indians. That's what I
2016.
said. I said I'm comparing them to Cleveland.
you said that after I made the face.
I said I'm comparing them to Cleveland in 2016, and the first thing you said was basketball.
I thought you meant when Cleveland won in 2016.
No,
I
I'm
thought
comparing
you
it to
were
when
talking
Cleveland lost in 2016 and saying that that's how it felt. You were right there. You had an opportunity to win the World Series, and if you don't get it done on your home field, you have opportunities, and you
I
don't
would
get
have thought it was going to be like if the Blue Jays won, it would have been the Dodgers were Cleveland in the ninth inning. Rajai Davis home run would have been like the Miguel Rojas home run.
Yeah.
It would have been crazy, but we didn't get that.
Wasn't meant to be. I'm not going to say I think the Blue Jays maybe played better throughout the series, but did you give that team enough chances? They're going to get the job done. That's what the
It wasn't
Dodgers
really
did.
giving the Dodgers chances. The Blue Jays just didn't take any.
That's the thing. You had
the
opportunities to
opportunity.
put the game away, and you left
Yeah.
a minute. And then if you leave a minute, they're
I
going to
mean,
make
I
you
don't
pay.
think like the Dodgers didn't really like, they had that random home run of the ninth. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna happen, stuff like that. But like leaving runners on base, I feel like isn't giving the Dodgers a chance as much as like you wasted your opportunity.
That's what I'm saying. Did you let them in the game? If you leave a minute, one swing of the bat with a team that hits a bunch of home runs, they're going
The
to do
fact
that.
is
to you.
Miguel Rojas still confuses me. I saw Miguel Rojas earlier in the series, and I was like, I can't believe Miguel Rojas is A, still playing, but B, like starting the World Series, and then because I said the ball was it said Rojas, and I was like, Miguel Rojas? Like, it can't be Miguel Rojas. It has to be someone else. I go, no, that's Miguel Rojas. Looked
Dave
it up.
Roberts
It was
hit all the
36.
right buttons.
And I'm like, he was like a Met killer like 10 years ago on the Marlins when he was like with Stanton and Yelich and Ozuna, like on that version of the Marlins. And I was like, I cannot believe he's still alive playing baseball.
He didn't start playing till Game 6. He started Game 6 and started Game 7, and Dave Roberts said he had a feeling. And that's what happens. That's why Dave Roberts gets paid the big bucks.
Maybe. But all right, let's move on from baseball. I'm sorry. I feel less bad now that you argued with me. Let's move on to our weekly
We got a
recap.
regular season Mets baseball games. So I mean,
It was about the feeling of falling just short and seeing the star player hit it to the warning track of like, it was more about the person falling just short and the face they make at him. That was what I really felt like. Okay.
I mean, you could also said about how Vladdy hit it to any other part of the ballpark, it would have been a home run.
True, that also was sad. He
Yeah, he hit
actually
it to the
literally
deepest
set that
part of
up
the
off the end of the bat.
I know.
All
That
right.
place is weird. Can we talk like that? The Rogers Center has some weird where the ball just carries. There's a lot of them there that just
like Miguel Rojas hit that, and I was like, wow, that ball just carried all the way out. And then
even Ernie's little golf shot out there in the night just carried all the way to the wall.
When he hit that, I was like, fly out. And I was like, oh, that's going, you know?
And then Jimenez's Game 6 hit. Like, it carried up for Kike to catch it. Like,
yeah, and then Vladdy hit it, and I was like, oh, that one dies? Like, kind of weird. Going to the NFL.
You want to talk about
no
it?
Canadian teams here, Adam.
I didn't think you'd want to talk about the NFL today after what you told me. So
you just acknowledge it, then I'll just fight back again.
What? You said you think the NFL's boring?
What my point was, this week was kind of just frustrating to me, where the NFL hits this point of the season where we're like, it's no longer like new, you know what I mean? Like we're like halfway through the season now, like officially, and then we're not that close to the playoffs yet, so like we're kind of figuring out like, okay, like if you're bad and you're done. You know what I mean? Like all those bad teams, we already know who they are. They're not making the playoffs. They're just tanking. And then there's like a bunch of teams in the middle who are just like, who won't go away. Like the stupid Panthers. And it's like, and then the teams at the top this week, it was a huge upset week.
Mm-hmm.
The the Chargers tried losing to the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Started off the game with a kick return touchdown and then a punt return, or no, it was a pick six and then it was a punt return
touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, the game that started with the kick return was the Bears game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears almost lost to Cincy, which would have been a little upset. The Vikings and J.J. McCarthy, who people, honestly, Adam, like we kind of hinted at this, like J.J. McCarthy had a bad first 2 games.
Whoa.
He had one good quarter in the 8 that he played.
He's clutch.
And people were ready to just bail on him and being like,
not all of us.
It's a shadow benching. The Vikings are stuck.
Not all of us.
That was like, for some reason, after 2 games, everyone bailed on a rookie quarterback, which is kind of weird. The Packers coming off this win against Rodgers. The Panthers have been frisky. People know it. And the vibes in Green Bay were high. They lose to the stupid Panthers. As we said, Chargers almost lost to the Titans. That wouldn't have been bad. The Falcons almost beat the Patriots. Drake May was looking great for the first half, bad in the second. At the end of the first half, gives up a touchdown where he fumbles the ball and they return it to like the 2 and they score a touchdown.
You don't want to talk about Michael Penix? I thought you liked Michael Penix. He played well today. 3 touchdowns.
I like Michael Penix. I think that this game really should have been over, except Drake May gave the Falcons a touchdown at the end of the first half. They looked better. I mean, Drake London had 3 touchdowns. I think that was
the Falcons might be still playing right now if, they made an extra point.
There were a lot of missed 2-point conversions today and a lot of mixed extra points today. I mean, maybe the extra points was normal, but I feel like there was a lot of 2-point conversions attempts today. Denver versus Houston was just a complete defensive battle, which we all knew going into it was going to be a low-scoring game.
Did you take the under like I told you to?
No, Adam, I don't really do many bets like that.
Oh, really? Do I got to tell you what you text? Do I tell you what else you texted me?
What I said to you was, today was one of the worst days for my fantasy teams, and also like any bet that I usually do. I usually just like bet on the favorites, and they usually hit most of the time. However, when the Colts lost to the Steelers, that hurt. It hurt my soul.
It's like someone on this podcast picked that game as it was going to happen that way. Really? Oh man!
Listen,
it's like you try to warn a guy, and
we'll get to that. But I think like the other games in here were the Jaguars at the Raiders, which you see 30-29 in overtime. You're like, ooh, good game. The first half was really bad.
I had fun with it.
It
They're
was
moving the
six.
ball.
What was it? 6-6 in the first half.
6-3.
6-3 in the first half, Adam. Even better. Besides Cam Little's 68-yard field goal, it was a
Longest
snooze
in
fest
NFL
in the
history.
first half.
Longest.
And then
No, they were moving the ball up and down. The Jags threw a pick in the red zone.
the Jags were. The Raiders were not. It was honestly bad till they realized that Brock Bowers healthy now.
Man, best tight end in the NFL showed up and showed out.
When healthy, he looks like it.
Yep.
Saints at Rams.
Man, you ain't gonna talk about the end of the Jags game in overtime. Jags take the ball first, which was crazy. First of all, I'm still convinced they didn't know the rules.
I don't think teams know the rules. Another team did that earlier this year. And
Well, I think the one reason the Jags did it, and they actually mentioned this on the broadcast, is that they wanted to run the ball. Like, they were running the ball really well, and they're like, if you get the ball second, you might not be able to run it. So, like, it's like, because the time, you don't know what it's going to look like. So they took it first. It worked out. They drove down right down the field, scored a touchdown right away off a long kick return. But then they score. Pete Carroll, thank you. Pete Carroll did the right thing. Anyone who's saying he didn't, if he would have kicked the extra point with 12 seconds left to take the tie, that would have been the lamest thing in the world for a 2-5 team to do.
Yeah,
So he did the right thing. He went for it. And, it was a great ending. He had Tyler Lockett open for a touchdown, but great job by Anton Harrison to get the hands up, knock it down, and send the Jags to 5-3.
Of going for the win. I think that's especially like on the road, especially when you're, like you said, you're 2-5. Like, you're trying to like.
But they weren't on
win
the
the
road.
game.
They weren't on the road.
They were whatever. They were on the road, but like you're the underdog. You're the bad team. Usually, I think at the end of the fourth quarter, like the Chiefs, if they scored, would you go for 2? I usually think when you're on the road, go for 2. I'm always a version. I would always just say go for 2, but
I always want to go for 2. Yeah.
yeah, I mean honestly, but it's just I don't know. I think the Raiders are the right thing. The Cowboys Giants earlier this year, the team that won decided to receive first, and I'm pretty sure they don't know the rules. And I know what you're probably thinking. They have to know the rules. They're the athletes. They're on the field. The Niners in the Super Bowl did not know the rules.
Well, I will say, at least in the Jag games, I can't remember what they did in the Giants game, but they did explain the rules in the coin toss. So if Logan Cook didn't know the rules, that's on him. Because they literally said, if there's a safety on the first drive, the game's over. But if it's a touchdown or field goal, the other team's getting the ball. Like, he literally told him that straight up. And then, like, you won the toss, we'll receive. I'm like, oh, jeez.
I generally think they were. I just don't think they listen. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know.
He's a punter. He better listen. It's like the only job he has is to go out there for the coin toss because I think the reason they send the special teams guys out there is they know the rules.
And my other guess would be maybe they wanted to give the defense a rest. But like,
well, the Jags
I would
defense
rather
hadn't been on
know
the field
like
in forever.
I would rather know like, okay, it's 4th down, we have to go for it. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge advantage that every drive is 4th down, or you could just kick the field goal. Like you could play it very differently. Whatever. I just think I agree that that's kind of weird. Saints Rams was ugly. I tried. I watched most of this first half, and it was so ugly that Taysom Hill at one point was just consistently getting the ball, and I was like, wow, they might be benching Shuck. Then Shuck came back in, but it was like there was like a 3-play stretch where it was only Taysom. It was ugly. He scored a touchdown at the end of the first half, and like, this is stupid. I gotta watch Chiefs Bills. Like I need to see that game more. So I put that game on, then had Red Zone on my laptop. So I was seeing the Saints. Luckily, I saw their only touchdown. Tyler Shuck looks pretty bad. The offense looks pretty bad. Kamara, I don't want to say the word washed. I just think every year he looks good until the season's over. Then he kind of just goes like, has some 7 carries for 12 yards and doesn't really seem that interested.
Dude. Business decisions.
Yeah, but what's weird is they asked him, like, do you want to get traded to a contender? And he said, no, I don't want to get traded.
Well, yeah. Why would he? He likes New Orleans. He likes living. He knows he'll get to go on vacations.
He has no desire to win.
Well, yeah, but guess what? First weekend of January, their season ends. He can head over to Cancun, do some action. Like, he's got the best life right now. He's getting paid a lot of money that his season's over. No playoff football for him.
It just strikes me that someone who's, like, at the tail end of their prime, who has some juice left, is like, nah, I don't need to go to
Never been to a Super Bowl either, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'd want to get there.
Yeah, I know. He's never won. He's a very good, like, all-time, not all-time, but, like, at his best, he was one of the best in the game. Like, he was one of the best running backs.
Top 5, top 10 running back when he was at his
I
peak.
think
Yeah, absolutely.
Prime Kamara was definitely a top 5 back. He was definitely the best pass-catching back at that time.
Yeah, and like consistently throughout his career, he's been top 5, 10 for the most part. Like, he
was averaging a touchdown a game for, like, the first 50 games of his career. And he's just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with my 12 yards a game and a fumble today. I think he had 0 fantasy points, but I don't have him, so don't worry about that. And then we get a Chiefs Bills. Adam, we both took the L in this game. We both predicted that the Chiefs Bills, that it would be, maybe both teams just kind of holding the cards close to the chest. Usually the Bills go all out and the Chiefs kind of stay reserved. Both teams were doing some fun stuff. They were kind of getting fun with the playbook, really, going at this game. And obviously they're going to try their hardest. But it seems like they kind of knew the importance of this game. And I think maybe what we overlooked, if we did, was like the Chiefs are not in a great spot right now in the regular season. So they kind of had to win this, not just, because it's Buffalo, but like now they're only 5-4 because they lost. Like that's not great to just be above 500. And for the Bills, if they lost, the Patriots have like the same record right now, so they would have been behind the Patriots. The Cardinals lost today, or not the Cardinals, the Colts lost today.
There you go.
And if the Colts won and the Bills lost, that would have been a huge loss for the 1 seed. That would have been put them back. So I think just for regular season, both these teams kind of had to win this game. Not a must win, but every game really matters for both these teams. I think we kind of overlooked that compared to some years where like, oh, the Chiefs are 6-1. If they lose 6-2, boo-hoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it matters. I mean, the Chiefs are 2 games back of the Broncos now. Still a game back of the Chargers, really a game and a half because they have that loss already head-to-head. So the Chiefs are in a tough spot right now. Mahomes was not efficient today. He made some big throws, but wasn't efficient. The Bills tried to give Patrick Mahomes a chance and nearly got bit for it. Hollywood Brown nearly caught the first Hail Mary off the tip. I mean, just because they missed a field goal. Yeah, they missed a field goal that would have put them up 10 and ended the game. Like,
did you think the Chiefs were going to win?
No,
on the final drive?
At the end, I was like, if they score, they're going to kick the extra point. They'll go to overtime, and the Bills will win in overtime. That was my thought. But I was like, yeah, it is
my
one of those
thought
situations.
was like, if this was the postseason, I feel like the Chiefs would win.
Oh yeah, yeah. If it was a playoff game, I'd pick the Chiefs to win.
No, but I mean on the final drive.
Yeah.
Like I thought to myself, like by the way of the football gods, if this was in the playoffs, the ball would magically get tipped up to like a random Chiefs receiver who'd score a touchdown. Because it's regular season, I'm like, I feel like this is just going to be like, Chiefs can't get it done. But
we'll say for Josh Allen's mental sake, they better not play in the playoffs this year. He is 5-1 against Mahomes in the regular season and 0-4 in the playoffs. Like they just better not line up this season against each other, and I think that'd be good for his mental state. Now, granted, maybe it wouldn't feel right if they do end up getting to the Super Bowl without playing Kansas City. Maybe it'd be like, man, that just doesn't feel right, but.
I feel like of the years people look at, obviously that standout was a 2022, that divisional game.
21 season, 22 playoff,
yeah. So the playoffs was in I hate that about football, because like 90% of the season is like in that first year. Yeah. And then it just leaks into the other one, but then it gets called like the 2022 whatever. That was the one that stands up, but the Chiefs lost the next round.
Yeah, they lost to the Bengals.
Yeah, like it wasn't like the Chiefs went on to win the Super Bowl. And I feel like that in the future years, the Bills I think actually had the better team. I feel like the 2022 team was like a fun Bills team, and it was an amazing game. But like, I think that one feels robbed because like we didn't get to see Josh Allen, have a chance to win it because the Chiefs pulled it off. But like, I think that game really just kind of set the tone, and the Bills have been unable to recover, and it's kind of crazy because it's 4 years later now. It's about to be 4 years later. Yeah. This is the fourth.
Yeah, they've lost in so many different ways too. Like they had the missed field goal there when they had to play when you got the game at home. They had last year where they didn't get the quarterback sneak.
Last year, I think the Bills. I mean, they were an Arrowhead, but like, I feel like the Bills were doing too much of the Josh Allen QB sneak stuff, where like the Chiefs kind of stopped it, and the Bills every fourth down were like, what do we do? And I remember like that James Cook touchdown. I think about it randomly every time like I'm watching James Cook. That touchdown he had last year, he like stayed up to score the touchdown at a huge play, kind of get lost to history. And then the year before, the Bills didn't turn the ball over. They played a smart game against the Chiefs. Actually, the Chiefs were the team I think that fumbled through the end zone that game, or like the Bills forced a fumble. Might have been, yeah. And it was like, wow, everything's going the Bills' way, and they just still lost that game. Does it really make sense?
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird games, and I don't, like I said, like this was a bigger game, I think, for the Bills and the Chiefs. Not the fact that I think the Chiefs, if they get through the wild card, of course they have to make the playoffs, but if they get to the wild card, like you'd be like, okay, Mahomes in the playoffs, we have a puncher's chance. But the Bills, I think, needed just because like the Bills trying to prove like they've been weird this year, especially defensively. So I think it was just big for their psyche. Joey Bosa played really well in that game today too. Like, he was wrecking havoc on that Chiefs offensive line. Sean McDermott did a great job scheming up that defense for them. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the Bills are in a good spot. They kind of need to be, I think maybe a little surprise to them that the Patriots are right there with them. And so the games now matter maybe a little bit more. Bill's schedule's really easy. The Chiefs, they'll get the Broncos twice, so they'll have a chance to fight their way back. They get the Chargers again, so they're not done. They go into the bye, which I think is a good bye time for them, kind of like reset for Kansas City. So we'll see. I mean, they're both going to be there in the playoffs at the end of the year, and we'll see what happens. I think the scariest part for the Bills right now would be if they don't get the 1 seed, and then they got potentially play Kansas City in the first round.
Yeah,
that would be an interesting one to see. So.
And I think, too, I mean, there were a lot of upsets, and that's definitely going to make the standings more,
Yeah. Every team in the NFC North is 500 or better.
Yeah, I mean, of all the games today, Adam, actually, what do you think was the biggest upset with, the most implications?
Biggest upset with the most implications. I don't think the Panthers game's going to matter because I think the Bucs are going to run away with the division, so I don't think that one's going to matter too much. The Bears, I don't consider it an upset. I mean, it could matter for a wild card spot. Just don't consider it a big upset. The Broncos was technically an upset, but it's not an upset. We're not going to consider that an upset.
Yeah.
I'd say the Steelers won.
Pick this week.
You picked the Broncos. You're still Yeah, you picked the Broncos.
Nice.
You got them at 1.5. So you're still 2 points back of me.
I'll take it.
But how about a weird stat, just off topic? For our upset picks, if we've got them right, we both got them right. If we got them wrong, we both got them wrong. We have the same record all year. It's weird. But I'd say the biggest upset for implications-wise is probably Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because it keeps them up in the division. It's a big win. They needed it because, Baltimore's really starting to surge back. So I think for implications, I think Pittsburgh's maybe the only upset that you're like, that's definitely a playoff team. So it could be a playoff team.
I think of it the other way of, the Colts have an easy schedule, and that was supposed to be one of the easier wins.
They have the 5th hardest schedule to finish the year, actually. It
yeah,
gets
true, actually.
They get the Jags twice, who are 5-3, so I think that inflates it a little bit for them. But
I mean, so they're in an easier division, and they should be winning these games. I think for the Colts, we saw 2 things. One, I thought for them this is a bad loss because now if you're not the 1 seed, you don't get a bye. That's a huge loss for you because now there's only 1 bye team, obviously. And then if Jonathan Taylor doesn't score 3 touchdowns, he does nothing. It's a little weird. He's really boomer bust. And I think that's kind of just, if the Colts get that lead, they're fine. We saw them today for the first time really trailing most of the game. I mean, that Broncos game week 2 was kind of weird. In the Rams game, they lost. I mean, we haven't really seen them have that comeback win besides the Broncos. And I feel like that they honestly should have lost anyways. Well, so I'm a little concerned about my Colts, Adam.
Let's talk about them. First of all, the fact that you say your Colts just grinds my gears. Also, I just realized that you were saying I'm being anti-9/11 as I'm wearing a military sweatshirt right now.
Adam, I'm not saying you're being anti-9/11.
I'm joking.
Oh my God, we got.
I just realized
we gotta stay away from some topics, Adam.
I just wanted to shout out Veterans Day coming up. I have my Salute to Services Jag sweatshirt. Love the American flag on. Just wanted to shout it. I just noticed I was looking. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I'm wearing that today. But going back to this, Chris, a couple weeks ago we were talking about referencing a movie, Cinderella, the fairy godmother, and Halloween just ended. So pumpkin patches, still a thing though, because pumpkin pie, all that stuff coming up. And it seems like there's a quarterback that maybe plays in Indianapolis, Indiana, that tried to turn into a pumpkin today. He had 5 turnovers. That's the reason they lost the game, by the way. They were up 7-0, driving down the field, and he got strip sacked by TJ Watt. He threw an interception to a defensive lineman, threw another interception to Joey Porter Jr., he had 3 picks, 2 fumbles. Daniel Jones just had a really bad game. Now, I'm not going to write him off yet because every quarterback's allowed to have a bad game. Now, you're not supposed to be able to have that bad of a game, but Drake May had a 5-turnover game earlier this year. It wasn't all him. His team had a 5-turnover game. But, yeah, I mean, that's a cause for concern for the Colts that the Steelers, whose defense has looked horrible all year long, has been able to show Daniel Jones that he may be human and we can get him to give the ball to the other team.
We still need to believe in Daniel Jones and these Colts.
I'm not believing in him. I'm a Jags fan.
He did not turn into a pumpkin. 3 interceptions and a fumble. That's obviously a terrible game. But that is not going to be the new normal going forward. He still is in a much better situation. And he has shown a lot with this team of getting the right players the ball. The Steelers' defense, we know, has not been great overall, but they still have the playmakers. And TJ Watt can take over play sometimes, strip sack him, and Daniel Jones didn't see him coming. Just went around him, and sometimes those things happen. I think we have to believe more in the infrastructure of the Colts than we did ever of the Giants. This team is a lot better. He has a lot more success. I think they believe in him more. They need to get Jonathan Taylor the ball again more. They need to get Tyler Warren more involved. This week, he couldn't really get anything going. I think it was a bad matchup. The Colts were due for a bad game, honestly. And, sometimes that's just what happens is you're, flying high, and then they've been having a really easy schedule. And I think, kind of got smacked a little bit by a better defense than the Titans. That happens.
Yeah,
I think Daniel Jones can recover. I know he's not an amazing quarterback, but I think he's more like the guy we saw for 8 weeks than the guy that we just saw in that 1 week.
I will say this, though. We're talking about the Steelers' defense. There was a quarterback last week that lit him up and only scored 13 points this week against a defense that gave up 40 points the week before.
If I had to think of Daniel Jones' weakness, it would be turning the ball over.
Well, yeah.
And honestly, it's not even the picks, it's the fumbles. That guy has more fumbles than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah, he has more fumbles than any player in the NFL since he came into the league. Trevor Lawrence is actually, I believe, has the most since he came into the league. It's weird because it's like when you came into the league, so dang, we get 2 extra years. But also, first off, shout out Meow Mix Podcast. Had to shout him out. They're coming back, baby, which is risky. The Panthers have been really good since they ended the pod. Now they're coming back. If the Panthers start to nosedive, got to cancel it right away. But anyway.
The fact they got a notification about that on Bleacher Report is really just insane.
It's a big deal. This is a big deal. I'm not the only one talking about this, Chris. There's a lot of people talking about this. I thought it was like some
random tweet you saw, and then it was only you talking about it.
Well, I saw it on the Part in My Take podcast. They were talking about it. Now the Panthers were winning again, and now they're bringing it back. Which Part of My Take's most listened to sports podcast. So I think that got.
Is it not this one?
No, sadly not.
We're growing. We're growing. Share it with your friends.
Yes, we're growing. But Daniel Jones, they need him to be like Sam Darnold last year in the fact that he doesn't need to do everything. He has the weapons. Just get the ball out to him, be smart, manage the game, control the clock, do all the things you need the quarterback to do, but we don't need you to be Superman. When he tries maybe to do too much or he makes mistakes, it starts to nosedive for him. So he's one of those guys where when things are going well, he'll go really well, but when things start to go down, you never know. So he's got a chance to, they play the Falcons next week in, I believe, Spain. I think it's the Madrid game, not the Berlin game. One of the two. It's either Spain or Germany.
I think it's Spain.
Yeah, I thought Spain was first, but
I think I think the Berlin game was one that was really terrible, and I don't think Colts Falcons.
Oh yeah, Panthers are playing in Berlin. I think again. They always play in Berlin, don't they? Well, now we'll check here. So
I'll check. Don't worry.
Well, I can check. I got the Week 11 schedule. Madrid games: Commanders, Dolphins.
Was I wrong? Then what's Week 10? Is it Colts Falcons?
No, next week. No, this week's Falcons.
Falcons
Colts is this week for Spain. No, for Germany, I guess.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I guess I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Madrid. You guys got the Panthers.
Good for them. Good for them. Yeah,
I don't know how long it would take for me to accept the Panthers being good, but I don't know what week it will be. But every week the Panthers win a game, I'm genuinely stunned.
You know who they remind me of? They remind me of the Colts the last few years with Anthony Richardson, because they'd always get to 8 and 9. That's the kind they remind me of. They also kind of remind you of kind of the Derek Carr Saints, but not as good. Kind of like getting around to the 7-win mark.
The Derek Carr Saints were different because they were on the decline, whereas the Panthers are improving each week. So it's really hard to tell what is actually them building momentum and what is just a random upset. And you know what the difference is today? Honestly, the Panthers use Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle has outplayed Chuba Hubbard every single week. They're stupid ESPN ads. Every single time Rico Dowdle gets the ball a lot, the Panthers win. That's their formula. They don't want to put Rico Dowdle in over Chuba Hubbard because that looks bad that the backup kind of outplayed your starting running back. But Rico Dowdle is having a phenomenal season. In the 3 games he's actually been used a lot. The Panthers kind of just have to make him the running back 1 until it kind of falls off. Because I'm assuming he will not be averaging 2 touchdowns and 200 yards, every time he's the lead back. But you got to just feed the hot hand. Just give Rico Dowdle the carries for now. He looks so much better than Chuba Hubbard. They used him. The Packers could not stop it at all. And for the Packers, every team's allowed one, big upset loss.
2 now.
They have 2 and it's week 9. That's a little concerning that they have these letdowns. And I know Joe Tuman, who we had on last week, he kind of talks like, the Packers are a good team, but they should not be talked about like this amazing Super Bowl contender. Like he was kind of tempering our expectations after especially those first 2 weeks. He's like, we're not that team,
See, but the thing with me is you have to talk about him that way because you're not paying Jordan Love the money you're paying Jordan Love and paying Micah Parsons as the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the league to be a playoff team and the second best team in your division. Like, you're paying them to win a Super Bowl. Now you have time. They're the youngest team in the NFL, I believe, still. So, like, they have time to grow through it. But, like for them, it's like for Gutekunst and those guys, they're like, we're not just doing this to, be okay. Like,
it is concerning. You lose to the Panthers, who, especially when you're at home. Like, the Panthers have pulled off some upsets if you're in Carolina. Like, okay, like maybe. The Panthers come in and you only score 13 points. That's unacceptable. And then they lost to Cleveland, which we talked about. That was in Cleveland. I know Cleveland has a good defense, but 10 points? Really? Come on. And then Dallas was a tie. Dallas has a great offense, but you had 40 points and then just kind of bad losses if you want to win the Super Bowl. And the NFC right now is looking pretty open, honestly. I mean, the Eagles, they've been up and down. I know their record might be good, but they've looked more up and down. And
the Bucs are injured. The Bucs are injured.
They're 6-2.
The Rams look good. The Rams look good.
Yeah,
right now,
I mean,
but they're injury prone. They're injury prone. Like,
the Rams are 6-2. They just lost Nakua again. Like, they have an old team, and they had that big upset loss to the Niners earlier this year. Seahawks are looking good. Actually, we didn't give an update. The only game we're not talking about today is going to be Seahawks and Commanders.
Well, we can talk about them. If the Commanders come back, I'm not going to say I'll do anything because I really don't have the ability to say I'll do anything. But Sam Darnold's first half, 16 of 16, 282 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yep, I was about to read that. That's insane. That is like a prime Drew Brees stat, but better. Drew Brees would have those yards. Actually, no, man, his prime he would. But like that's insane. 16 to 16.
Thank goodness my boy J.J. McCarthy won today, or it would have been a bad day for Minnesota. But they won today, so they can be like, okay.
That was kind of the worst part for Minnesota fans, where Darnold's still balling out, and then Daniel Jones is in Indianapolis with one loss. It was kind of looking terrible for him. J.J. McCarthy, I mean, I think he looked pretty good. I'm not...
He played well. He played really well early, and then he had to end the game on third down. They let him throw it when they really didn't need to, and he threw a perfect back shoulder ball.
Yeah.
Like, it was about as good as you could throw it. So,
like in the touchdown of Jefferson, like you just he ball in the right spot for like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Don't need to get it right in the perfect spot for them every time, but like throw it out there and let Jefferson make a one-handed catch.
I don't think he's ever lost a regular season game in the state of Michigan. I don't think he ever lost as a starter. He lost as a backup to Michigan State in 2021. And then they went undefeated in 22 and 23. So he's never lost a game as a starter in the state of Michigan.
Insane.
The Lions should sign him up.
Maybe, honestly, the Lions too. Just I don't know. Sketch talks. Our friend Sketch, he likes Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. He always complains they kind of use Montgomery too much, and usually I'm like, my thought process is, you don't want to just.
You're a big two running back guy. For
football purposes, if you have two that are actually good, I'm okay with doing a split backfield. My problem, though, is like when the game's on the line and you put in the backup, like Tyler Algier is getting the touches on the most important plays when that doesn't make any sense to me. Today, every single clip on Red Zone was David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs is great, and I think I saw like 3 plays of him. Mm-hmm. It was kind of ridiculous. I'll check what the actual breakdown was.
I can pull it up here. I got you. Montgomery had 11 carries for 40 yards. Gibbs had 9 carries for 25 yards. Montgomery did have the touchdown at the goal line, which made sense to me. He's the goal line back, so that made sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gibbs had 3 catches for 3 yards. Montgomery had 2 catches for 10 yards. So
that's
I don't know what they were doing. Like I can tell you like how many snaps they played. So like I don't know, maybe if Gibbs was out there and they were checking the pass plays, like they were stacking the box. I do not know. So
but you should be trying to find ways to get Gibbs the ball more.
Oh yeah.
And Montgomery was getting it like when they were trailing, Montgomery was on the field. Like I get if you're ahead by a lot, you want to rest Gibbs and let Montgomery take over. That's when I really like the split backfield. But when you're just trailing to the Vikings and you could do a lot of checkdowns to Gibbs, who's a great receiving back, why is he not out there? Yeah. I don't really understand that.
I mean, this was a classic like Lions letdown spot, Vikings long week. I think the Lions were off a bye, but it's kind of a Vikings played horrible last week. Like they were going to bounce back. Lions taking maybe a little like, okay,
Well, yeah, I
let's.
think it was the JJ McCarthy thing was kind of like make or break time. Like
Yep.
you actually have to show that you could win because Carson
Okay,
Wentz is done for the year.
Can we
so,
stop it? Can we stop the? We were going to write JJ McCarthy off after
no,
three
but
career
in terms
games.
of he has to be good now for the Vikings to compete this season.
Yeah,
That was like this week division game. He kind of had to show like either he's good now and they can compete, or he's going to be bad this year, or maybe he's okay this year, but they're not going to compete.
Yeah.
Now the Vikings are back in the division, especially with the Packers losing, so it's kind of a big spot for them.
Yep. They have a game against the Ravens next week. Should be an interesting game. Ravens defense continues to look better. What's up?
Adam, huge update. Austin Reeves just threw an alley-oop to Bronny.
Bronny's getting minutes.
It's his first points of the season. It's breaking news.
Austin Reeves has been balling, dude.
He has been.
I actually thought I had a weird dream. I'm like, did they try to trade him? Because they could get a lot for him right now. Like they could get a lot for him.
I was looking back at my past tweets randomly, and like when Austin Reeves signed that deal, I literally just tweeted like that's a steal in all caps when they signed Austin Reeves to like 4 years, $56 million. That's ridiculous. That still is just mind-boggling. For the Lakers, they have two guys who are ball dominant, who are scorers, who could facilitate. And then they have Austin Reeves, their third best player, who, is a really good scorer, maybe not the facilitator, but he kind of shows that he could be at times. But like, they just need like to turn some of those pieces into like defense.
They need size and defense, man. They need size and defense.
You kind of have to trade Reeves because you're not trading Luka, and not only does LeBron, like you're not going to trade LeBron, but like no team wants to trade for LeBron. That's like a whole other thing, and he's old, so he has no future value really. So like Reeves on that contract right now, I know he's due for an extension, but like
now only trade him if you have the guy. Don't just trade him. Like
only trade him if you get a good deal for him, and like
don't trade him for like a role player wing. Like trade him, like if you're like, okay, we're gonna trade him, we're gonna try to get like, I'm just throwing out a name here just because it's like a role player wing that plays defense. So OG Anunoby, like you're gonna try to make that move. Okay, maybe. Now the Knicks wouldn't make that move. Like I don't think the Knicks would need another ball dominant guard right now with Jalen Brunson. But
I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny, but like they do need a real good center. Like Anthony Davis was with them. They were great when they actually have defense. The Lakers don't have one right now. And
DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton's fine. You know what I mean? Like, but I would feel a lot better if they had.
I think they should go get Marvin Bagley. Well, get the first, second, and third pick in that draft. Might as well. Everyone forgets about Marvin
I don't
Bagley.
really know if you want the first or second pick.
Now, here's actually a guy they could try to go for, is the fourth pick in that draft, Jaren Jackson Jr.
I don't know what the Grizzlies are doing. Ja the other day actually got...
Ja wants out. Ja wants out.
You know what's funny was, not talking too much about gambling, Adam, my God, but I did a whole thing with each player to score. Usually I'll pick like 4 or 5 players to score like 20 points if I like them. And I'm like, I'll do Ja because the Lakers don't have great defense. In the second half, I literally was like, this bet ain't hitting. Because Ja Morant was completely uninterested in playing basketball, and that's the only leg that failed, and I was so mad. So note to self, never bet on Ja Morant again. He's on my burn list of like, do not ever trust this man.
Well, you can trust him at some point, just maybe not when he's in Memphis anymore.
Him quitting in the middle of that game was reminiscent of James Harden on the Nets at the end of that time there. Do you remember there was 2 games that stand out? One was against the Pistons when the ball was still in bounds and Harden just walked as it went out.
And then the Kings game.
The Kings game
was bad,
Those 2 are like the most detrimental games I've ever seen for a superstar. Like if anyone ever tries arguing me like Westbrook or Harden, I will say like at the end of the day, I will always believe Russell Westbrook in his heart was trying. And that means more to me than Harden quitting multiple times on a team or a season.
I think you can make an argument that James Harden's a better basketball player, but you'd rather have Russell Westbrook. You'd rather have a guy like Russell Westbrook.
I'm a big like what's the word? I not even integrity, but like I'm a big like inside
effort guy.
Effort
attitude.
And just like you're like the inside.
You want a dog. You want a dog.
Most of the people I like, besides Luka, except for this year, are people who are always like in shape, trying to be their best, like really dedicated, like trying to win. Giannis, LeBron, Westbrook. All 3 of them are like top of the 1% of like being in shape, taking care of themselves, trying to, be the best. Luka's still learning. He's
He's
the
getting
one
there.
that really goes against that.
This year he's been, oh boy.
I know. Luka finally got the memo. I keep sending him fitness videos. He finally started paying attention. But
It totally wasn't LeBron James being his teammate. Not at all.
I don't really know if it's even that as much as like the Lakers were like. I think two things happened. One, the Mavericks traded you, and they keep talking about how fat you are and you're not in shape. I think that's going to motivate you. It's basically getting dumped by your girlfriend. So now like you're trying to show her what she's missing out on, and then the Lakers are probably like, hey, we're happy you're here, but like you do need to get in better shape.
Yeah.
So I think that 1-2 punch. I mean, I guess we're kind of going to basketball here because I was telling you, Adam, like when the NBA season starts, I love it. Like, and it kind of takes over football for a little bit in my brain.
You were complaining about the NBA 2 days ago.
There are a lot of problems with the NBA, but right now
you were complaining about the NBA Cup 2 days ago.
My issue with the NBA is why is the NBA Cup starting right now? Like, I feel like half these players are still like getting used to like playing basketball again, and it's like, all right, NBA Cup, like it's supposed to be a mid-season tournament, and instead it's just like, in like, if you're following it closely, you remember as like a normal person, I am not thinking about the NBA Cup schedule, so like I will just put on the game, and it's like, oh, the court's weird. I guess it's a cup game today. Like, it doesn't. It's not like a normal thing. It's not like. If they made it clear, like all the weekend games or whatever, I don't know. Like they gotta figure that out. And
the reason they do it now, there's a reason they do it now. Because if they wait till the true middle of the season, they're in the middle of the NFL playoffs. That's why they do it now. Is they get it done before the playoffs.
The point of the tournament is to keep you interested throughout the year. And to me, I'm not like when you do it randomly, I don't have any meaning associated with it. And like at the end of the day, I don't think the players really care if they win the chip. You know what I mean? Like. Here's
the thought, because the calendar actually works out here. So, like, the NBA Cup will end December, or like the first or second weekend in December is the NBA Cup. And then you go into Christmas. Of course, the NBA has Christmas. And then that transitions you into January where it gets a little sleep. But then, of course, the trade deadline's coming up. So you have the trade deadline everyone's talking about. Then you have the All-Star game. And then you're ramping up for the playoffs. So I think they try to make the calendar work out that way. Plus, like I said, they don't want to get too far. And no one would want to do it in late February, early March. Because then you're getting right into the playoffs anyway. And then, like I said, January with the NFL playoffs, you don't want to kind of try to be competing for ratings during that time.
At the end of the day, my just core mentality is like, I don't think the outcome impacts anything.
Well, no, the NBA Cup does not mean much. I think they should incentivize it more. You have to play an extra game for like no money.
I think it should be like, even if you finish the 11th seed, you are still like guaranteed a play-in spot or something. Like, just some, because like LeBron won the play-in cup. Is anyone ever going to mention that in a Jordan versus
someone
LeBron
actually
debate?
said, what if they gave him a compensatory draft pick? Like give him add a first round pick for the two teams that compete in the NBA Cup final. Because then you could also trade it, like it's a trade piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think because the play-in I think is kind of stupid anyways, but I like the play-in, but like I think the idea of it sometimes is stupid. I kind of go back and forth depending on the outcome. I kind of like, is the 10th seed actually good or is it a terrible team that somehow squeaked in?
The play-in's stupid. The play-in's stupid. I think it works out like the West last year was nice, but then there was the East playing.
That's kind of the problem is when you have a team, like a league that's 10, 11 teams deep, it's great. But when you have a league or conference, I mean, that's like 6, it's terrible.
Well, the problem is, first, I think there's a push in the NBA, and I could see it, to get rid of the conferences and go to 16 best teams. And also, the problem is, right now you have 30 NBA teams and 20 of them get in the postseason. So 66% of your teams are playing in the playoffs.
I think that's fine. I think.
And what's the point of the regular season? What's the point of the regular season?
Like I think 8 from each conference is fine. I don't really count the play-in.
Well, 8's fine. 8's fine, but they count, so you get a chance.
The playoffs.
We've seen teams like LeBron and then went to the Western Conference Finals from the play-in.
But they were already a 7-8 seed, right?
Yeah, they would have been the 7-8 game, but it's like, did the Heat, were they in the play-in the year they were the 8 seed that made a run? Was that a year of the play-in? I think so.
They were the 7 seed, or they were playing for the 7th seed, and then they lost that game. They won the second play-in.
Yeah, so they would have been the 8. They would have been the 8, normally. Yeah. They should just have 8 seeds. Make the regular season matter.
My belief for the conferences is like, keep the regular season as is, keep the seeding, keep like the whatever it is. once you go to the playoffs, I would reseed it 1 through 16 and then have them fly back and forth.
Well, yeah, you can have the conferences, but
Yeah.
no, because then people would complain though, because there would be maybe a 46-win Western Conference team that's left out for a 42-win Eastern Conference team.
I think if you get rid of the conferences, then like you have to change the whole schedule. You need to have more
Yeah.
East versus West. Like
Yeah.
that stuff would be kind of like annoying, and that's like more travel the whole year, which I think.
Well, first
they
of
don't
all,
want.
another thing I would love for them is to shorten the season. I would love for that.
I think 70 games is probably perfect.
Yep. I mean, the fact that we have, trainers in that telling the guys you really should only play this amount of games, so they're sitting out games, and then people complain that they're sitting out games. It's like, well, why do they not go to the league and say we just got to shorten the season? They never will because of TV and they're selling tickets. But like,
Yeah. I'll just call you Michael Jordan, who starts off the season like the interview. The clip is talking about load management, and it's like the second week of the NBA.
Well, he's talking about load management. Gave us the most AI load management answer of all time. Also, the fact that NBC showed us that Michael Jordan was going to be on their coverage. They did one sit-down interview and just cutting 3 minutes for every week.
Yeah, a little ridiculous. It's
what if my question is, are they going to redo it? Like, what if they have a topic all planned out? It doesn't age well.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like, it's not like they're interviewing him every week. They're literally doing like one.
Mike Tirico and them sat down before the season started. And, talk shop.
Michael Jordan honestly should just do like, he could do literally one game a week, and like it'd be like fascinating. Like anytime he says anything, I think people are interested.
He's a busy guy.
Is he that busy?
I don't know what he wants to do. I mean, he used to own a team. I don't know what he's doing now. He's in NASCAR, I think, still.
I'm sure he's just having fun and living his life, and I don't think he wants to spend, like a few hours. I don't think he wants to spend like a day a week doing it, but like.
Yeah.
Anytime Jordan says something, people listen. Like people care, and they are excited to see him on the screen because he doesn't do this a lot. So like,
he's one of, if not the greatest players ever. When they talk, you listen. That's normally how it works.
That's not always true. Look at Tom Brady. No one cares about what he says anymore.
People listen when Tom Brady talks.
No, no one's listening to his analysis. They're just listening to him saying stupid things.
Well, that's when he's doing color commentary. When he shows up on a TV show and says stuff, people listen.
Like, that's better. But I'm saying like Tom Brady is so in the media stuff right now that like, every time he's on, it's like. I am not listening to him. Like when Jordan talks, I'm like, oh, if he's talking, like it must be important, or like this is rare, so I better like listen. Whereas Tom Brady now, I'm like, this guy is just like.
Well, here's what they'd be the same thing if Jordan was doing.
My first calls freshman year of like when you don't know what you're saying and you just kind of. Yeah,
Tom Brady's not like that. So Tom Brady is good at his job. Like
he's not a good color commentator. He's by far the worst.
I think he's pretty good. I think he does a good job.
I will have you listen to some random obvious things that he says, or just like dumb things.
Also, Tom Brady is handcuffed on some of the stuff he can say. So
then you shouldn't be doing the games.
I don't disagree with you, but they paid him $1 billion to do it. So I mean, he's going to do it.
He'll just kind of say things of like, "Oh, feel the energy."
Yeah, but the reason
it's here.
First of all,
he meanders and doesn't get to like.
Michael Jordan would be the same way if he was always doing this. The reason people listen is because he's never done it. He never talks.
That's what I'm saying. Is like if Jordan did like one a week, like one show a week, that would be interesting. But Tom Brady now is like he's on the Fox shows, he's giving analysis, and then he does the he does the color commentary, which he's terrible at. So.
I mean, everyone complained about Greg Olsen, and he's one of the best in the game.
People complained. Everyone liked Greg Olsen.
There's people I listen to that complain about Joe Davis and Greg Olsen, and I like Joe Davis and Greg Olsen as a partnership. I think Greg
Olsen may have the highest approval rating right now of like.
But people complain about Tony Romo, and I think Tony Romo is phenomenal.
I think Romo got negative backlash after his like first year when like.
He was predicting. He was telling everyone what play they were going to run because he knew exactly what they were running. I think people liked it at first, and then I think people got annoyed by it, and then I think he kept doing the "here we go," like he was always in a weird voice of like really being amped up. Hey, color commentary is not an easy job. It is not an easy job.
I think it's one of the easier ones.
It's not because you don't like doing it.
I like color commentary far more than play-by-play.
But they're not easy jobs when you're on the spot.
I think play-by-play is incredibly difficult, especially when you're covering a whole league. You have to know everyone.
It is, yeah.
I think if you're color commentary and you're a quarterback and you're trying to analyze a quarterback, I don't know why Tom Brady seems to struggle so badly with it.
I mean, if you're trying to question Tom Brady's quarterback knowledge, I mean,
I'm questioning the way that he expresses his football knowledge because I am sure he knows maybe more than anyone. And then somehow,
He's the
whenever he
smartest
says
quarterback
it,
that's ever played the game. Yes.
probably, and yet when he tries talking about it, it's weird.
It takes time to get used to it.
Listen, I
Everyone
mean,
gets
when
to
he's on
he-
Colin Cowherd's show, sometimes I'm like, "Wow,
He's a
Tom,
genius.
he
He's a
sounds
genius.
great." And then during the broadcast, like, do you know, like when you're trying to say something and you don't know where it's going, he's just kind of trying to find what is, and he's just talking just to talk.
I figure you would be a big Tom Brady guy because the reason the tush push is getting a lot of backlash is because of him.
I think it's because it's terrible. You know what? Maybe that's why this week was kind of boring for me. No Eagles.
You're an Eagles fan. Been saying it for years. Yeah,
The
you're an
Eagles
fan.
give me the most reason to watch football because they make me so mad about so many things. But also, if they're just playing well, I
I
love
just
watching Saquon.
don't get why you didn't like it. 9 1-score games this week.
It was definitely the best week in recent weeks. It was a good
Yeah.
football week, but like when you like, I just start finding myself like rooting for teams, like not like as my actual team to root for, but like, oh, I kind of like that team. I hope they do well. Like the Colts for me, I like watching Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, Daniel Jones do well. So when they lose, it hurts, and I feel like today I didn't get a lot of good breaks.
Because you just got to like football. And when your team's not playing, you just watch football and be like, man, that's awesome.
I'm gonna be so honest, Adam. Like I was watching old Saints highlights to try to get me amped up for like the Saints, and I got so highly like invested of like when the Saints were good in that stretch. Like I just forgot how fun it was every Sunday. Of like I cannot wait to watch Drew Brees throw the ball to Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara. And now it's Tyler
I like
Shuck.
how that's your glory days. Not even the Super Bowl championship. Your glory
Adam,
days are. You know.
I was 7.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, my teams win back then.
I was
I-
excited for Drew Brees throwing it to Marcus Colston and Jimmy Graham, and Reggie Bush was like my first favorite player, but like, you know, like my prime years of like where I'm aware of what's happening in football, but I'm still a kid, was Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, Kamara.
Yeah,
That was like
matches.
peak. That's like the best time to be a sports fan because you're still little, so you look up to them, but you kind of understand more of the game. I'm sure when I'm 7, I'm more just like kind of understanding.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Do you have our updated game picks?
Oh, yeah, I guess I do. I didn't update the totals, but we're gonna finish tied this week, Chris. Sadly,
Wait, I
we're
won
both.
this week?
No, we're tied this week. I just said we're tied.
Oh, wait,
This
just
week.
this week we're tied.
Yeah, just this week. I'm still 4 games up.
Okay.
But we're gonna finish 8-5. It looks like because the Seahawks are most likely gonna hold on.
You picked the
um,
Commanders?
No, we both picked the Seahawks.
Oh.
No, but we're both gonna get that game right. But let's see the games we flipped on. I had the Bengals. You had the Bears. So
Woo.
good job there. I had the Steelers. You had the Colts. I had the 49ers. You had the Giants.
You talked
an
me
interest-
into it, yeah.
No, I really didn't. I took the
The
Niners straight
Giants
up.
were a few plays away. Like, they missed a field goal, and then it was like 4th and 2, and they kicked a field goal instead of getting the touchdown. And then the field goal that they missed, actually, they literally had the interception in their opponent's territory, and they couldn't do anything with it. And that was in the first half, and then once they kind of failed there, the Niners just kind of kept running, and then game was over. Continue.
NFC West is going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
It's a fun division coming down to it. And then other one we flipped on, I had the Texans, you had the Broncos. So you got that one right. We both
Who
had
do
the
you have
Patriots.
tomorrow? Do you have Cowboys or Cardinals?
Yeah, we both have the Cowboys.
Okay.
We
Jacoby
both-
Brissett's now playing too.
Yes, he is. We both had the Patriots and Chargers. We both had the Lions and lost. We both had the Packers and lost.
Okay.
No, we both had the Rams and won. We both had Jacksonville and won, and we both had the Chiefs and lost. So,
All right. Well,
and then
we'll see.
upset picks, we're both 4-5. But I lead in the points because I had a bigger spread this week. I had 3.5. You had 1.5. So I have 18 total points, and you have 16 total points. And we're both 4-5 on the year.
Before I forget, next week, week 10, we have to do our picks.
Oh, yeah,
It
we
is
have Thursday
Raiders
night football.
at Broncos.
Oh, baby.
Who
We
you
also
got?
have to do our pain and panic of the week, by the way.
I know.
I got the Broncos. They're at home. They're 7-2. They're in a really good spot right now. I'll take the Broncos here over the Raiders. Raiders did show some good things today, but with the way Brock Bowers has been banged up, really worry about them in a short week.
Give me the Broncos as well. However, like you said, like when Brock Bowers is there playing, I think he looks the best. When we did our tight end ranking, I had him, I think, 3, because I said, like, we saw it 1 year, and this year he hasn't looked right the whole year. Now he's healthy again. He looks like he did last year. Just now he actually has someone who's
He was
He's
unbelievable
better
today.
at throwing the football, but not by much with Geno Smith. But
Yeah.
now we'll get to pain and panic.
Also, Genti had some flashes today too. Figured
He
you'd
always
like
has
that.
flashes, but they can't
Yeah.
block.
Yeah. No, he actually didn't run the ball horrible today. He had a nice he had a receiving touchdown or like a
He
screen
did.
pass. But
That's usually how the week goes, Adam. I've been telling you this every week. I have him in fantasy, so I'm always invested. All
I
right,
got rid of him for a reason.
pain and panic of the week. Adam, first your pain.
Oh,
Just the
geez,
team that lost and hurt you, and I think we all know.
I'm not going to say the Blue Jays. I'm not going to do it. That's too easy. That's too easy. Penn State lost and hurt me. I should say that.
That wasn't obvious that was going to happen.
No, it was, but they gave me hope in the first half. It was 17-14 at halftime. I thought they were going to hang around, give me some hope. But no, that was a tough one. Oh, pain of the week. I'm trying to think here. Let's go with... No, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. I'll say the Blue Jays. It was a tough loss, but it was a great season. Like I'm going to enjoy the run when I think back on it. Most fun I've ever had watching baseball. But yeah, I guess they would be the pain of the week.
Okay, I like it. I have a baseball related panic, but for my pain,
I know what your panic's going to be. So
what's my panic? Oh, okay, we'll get to it. For my pain, I'm not panicking. I'm just gonna say pain. I'm gonna say this was the Colts. They lost. I think they're gonna get back to it. I do think though it's a pain when it was just bad to watch. Like I think they're panicking. I'm not panicking. I think that was a one-off. I'm just in pain watching to see my belief and get smacked around by Rodgers' Steelers, who have come back down to earth the last few weeks.
Yeah, it did not look good. It did not look good.
No, it did not. They'll be panicked. I'm saying don't panic. Now let's get to the panic of the week, Adam.
Also, as we continue to talk about college athletic buyouts, Auburn fired their coach today. They're paying $15 million. They're still paying their old coach also money. I think they're still paying their coach from 2 coaches ago money too. So Auburn's spending a lot of money. Just so we continue to throw that in, that college athletic budgets are wild. But anyway, my panic. The reason I segue is because I'm going to stay in college. My panic is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, Notre Dame, they beat Boston College 25-10. Now, Boston College is horrible. They won 1 game all year. But Notre Dame beat them 25-10. So, good win. Problem for Notre Dame is Miami lost to SMU yesterday. Tough loss for Miami. They had it. They lost. They lose 26-20 in overtime. It's their second loss. So, Miami is now a 2-loss team. Notre Dame lost to Miami in week 1 by 3 points. Notre Dame is a 2-loss team. So if the committee, with the way they have, first playoff rankings come out on Tuesday, if the committee does what they did last year, they're going to value head-to-head, and looking at head-to-head right now, Notre Dame, Miami, same record. If they compare those two with the way maybe we think they will, Notre Dame's going to be behind Miami and kind of be handcuffed a little bit here. And then they have Texas A&M loss. That could also, A&M drops a couple games, they could be there. So Notre Dame, slightly panicking. I think they'll still make the field, but Miami losing to SMU does not make you feel any better.
College football. Nice.
Yep. It's awesome. Playoff rankings come out this week. November to remember, baby.
My panic. I'm worried for baseball as we know it. With the salary cap probably coming soon. The only real, hope for baseball is that the players union is a very strong union, and they have been very against this for the whole history of baseball. However, when the Dodgers have won their 3rd World Series in the 2020s, and almost all their best players are bought or free agents or someone that they could just pay that another team couldn't. Freddie Freeman, free agent. Mookie Betts, they traded for, but it's because Boston couldn't afford him anymore. Shohei Ohtani was a free agent. Yamamoto came over and they, paid for him. They didn't draft him. Teoscar Hernandez, another guy, free agent. And,
Blake Snell,
another guy. I mean, I'm really thinking of he was good at the end. You know what I mean? But a lot of their best players, who's their other guy, their other pitcher, Glasnow. Yeah. None of their guys are these Dodgers they, drafted and built. I mean, they had some.
They didn't even draft Yamamoto and Sasaki. They signed them from Japan.
Will Smith, I think, might be one of the only ones that
Will Smith, Max Muncy. Max Muncy's been there for a long time.
And
Kike
Hernandez.
How long's Kike been there?
He's been there. That's not. He wasn't winning you the World Series. You know what I mean? He's not on the cover of
clutch. Kike's clutch.
We have Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Yamamoto, Sasaki, Teoscar Hernandez, all these guys that you were able to get on your team because of money, and then sign to big deals. That's a problem for baseball. And I know I'm a Mets fan, so like you could look at my Soto jersey and be like, you paid the
Yeah.
most for Soto. My defense of that is, yes, they signed Soto, but a lot of the other guys they have are homegrown guys or guys that they traded for. They don't have the plethora of just guys they signed.
Wouldn't
McNeil,
Lindor and Mookie Betts be very similar?
you could argue Lindor is similar to Mookie Betts. I think what's different is Mookie Betts was winning the Red Sox championships, and they decided to get out of the business. Whereas the Guardians were like, "We're not going to win right now. We need to get rid of this asset." Anyways.
Lindor almost won him a championship.
He almost did, but like that was in 2016, and like 3 years later. I think it's still different than the Red Sox, but I think that's a fair comparison. But besides Soto and Lindor, I'll give you that. Like Alonso, homegrown. McNeil, homegrown. Vientos, Beatty, Mauricio, Alvarez, Nimmo. A lot of those guys were like guys they drafted and built for years. Their pitching was terrible anyways, so anyone that they signed, whatever. They gave up prospects for Edwin Diaz, you know what I mean? And that was a long time ago. So Diaz is, not even this guy. And the Yankees, too. The Yankees deserve the most to blame for what they did in like the 1900s. And they've been better in the 2000s in terms of like, or maybe the 2020s, I guess.
Yeah, the new ownership does not spend the way Steinbrenner did.
Exactly. No. So look at them. Like, I know they won the World Series and they got, they traded for Soto. They signed Judge, but Judge was their guy. They built a lot of that team through their own ways. And then, you get some free agents. That's natural anyways. That's like a small advantage. My point is the Dodgers, to the most extreme extent, signed guys, brought them in only with use of money. And with Shohei Ohtani giving them one of the craziest contracts where almost all of his money is deferred, the Dodgers are going to keep doing this. And I think it's nice to have, a team that can like have prolonged success. But when they are the most talented team every year, and when they don't win, it's more of a surprise, that's a problem. It makes you lose interest. And I think that the Blue Jays actually almost saved that. If the Blue Jays won, throw this whole discussion out the window. But the Dodgers win, and it's just because they're going to have more money than anyone, so they have more depth than anyone, and they just keep spending money. And I get it's hypocritical. But, like, I'm also complaining, too, that the Mets shouldn't just be able to rely on the money that they have been, but I'm lucky to have had that in recent years. But, honestly, before Steve Cohen, the Mets didn't really spend money either.
I actually think this hurt the whole salary, that they need the salary cap thing, because the Blue Jays should have beat them.
Yeah.
That's going to be the push. They're like, they shouldn't have won. And they won in 2023, but they didn't win in 22. They didn't win in 21. 2020 was the shortened season, so you kind of crumble that up and throw it out if you really want to.
I don't put much stock in that one.
Yeah, like that, because the Rays were in the World Series that year with a Rosarena. So like it's like a lot of people kind of be like, asterisk. They even did that to the Dodgers. They were a horrible playoff team. Like even when they won the World Series, I was like, yeah, but it was 2020. Like, it doesn't really count. So like, yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting. Baseball cannot afford to cancel a season. It cannot right now. So I don't know what will happen. If they cancel the season, I'm telling you, a couple teams are no longer going to be teams of baseball because I don't think they can afford to cancel a whole season. So
probably not. But like,
yes,
the Blue Jays aren't like a super small market team. But what you're saying before, like, Bo Bichette is a very valuable player to your team.
Yep,
and
Vladdy.
You might lose him.
Yep, we
the
might.
Dodgers would just be able to pay him.
Granted,
from some weird deal.
Granted, they're going to lose Bo Bichette.
Another guy, by the way, I forgot him.
Yeah, Tommy Edman. But the Blue Jays are going to lose Bo Bichette, not just because they can't afford him. It's because they also decided to pay Vlad Jr. $500 million. So they got to cut at some point. Like,
but the Blue Jays have not had to cut at some point. They've been able to have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani.
The Dodgers just spend like crazy. And their argument's going to be, everybody can do it. If you want to, you can. It's just no one's going to, because it's a huge risk-reward situation. So,
I mean,
it's a weird spot. It's a weird spot.
I'm looking at these like last winners, and there's not a lot of small markets winning. It's Dodgers.
Houston was homegrown.
Yeah, I mean, like not even homegrown, but just like teams that be able to sign or keep their talents. There's no Oakland A's.
Texas
the Rangers, aren't huge, but like actually the Rangers spent all their money on Jacob deGrom, who didn't even play for them.
The Diamondbacks making the World Series. I mean,
I think if the Brewers and the Mariners faced off, that would have been the MLB's dream of like two teams who are like barely spending money, doing it almost all homegrown talent, and then both of them kind of
Who else?
Mariners fell to shore, and Brewers got smacked.
I mean, the Rays were the cheapest team to ever make the World Series, I believe. I believe they said when they did in 2020. 2019,
the
Nationals
Braves
sold and won the World Series.
Well, the Nationals is funny is they actually won, then ended up selling everything because they couldn't keep Soto.
They were selling before too. They were selling before because they had already given up Harper. Like they were like trying to unload a lot of those guys. The Red Sox,
that Soto already won a World Series when he was like 19.
Won in 2019. Yeah. 19. We don't know how old he is. There's a lot of people that
Do you think Albert
that.
Pujols was actually his age?
No, I think a lot of them are interesting to see.
Honestly,
I don't think they're too much older,
market
though.
team to win was Kansas City Royals 2015.
Yep, Kansas City.
And they were great in 2014. They went to the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chicago won. That's, of course, a big market. Cleveland was there. Like, there's been some teams that have done it. So, like, it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, the best thing to happen to baseball.
They don't have the same luxury of, like...
No.
If the Dodgers sign a guy and he's not that good, they'll be fine.
Houston's figured it out. Houston figured it out where it's built up through the farm system. Atlanta did it too, and then Atlanta, of course, sold a little bit. Like, I mean, you have windows. Like, the Dodgers are a team because they spend so much money. They don't have windows. Like, every year's their window. The Yankees are the same way. Like, every year's their window where they can move pieces around and they'll be competing. Like, these other teams, they have windows. Like, the Blue Jays... We don't know. They're fifth in payroll. So, like, I mean, they're up there. But, like, you don't know. You lose Bo Bichette. Maybe you have to lose a couple of the pitchers. You don't know where they're at. But, of course, they locked Vladdy up. But we'll see what they decide to do. But, I mean, like, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. The thing I'd tell you, enjoy baseball in 2026. You're guaranteed at least one more season. So,
yeah.
And we'll
I
see.
Think we're headed to a lockout. And I think
my fear is they can't afford it. That's my biggest fear is they won't be able to.
I think they go to a lockout. I don't think they're going to be able to figure it out with all these players who are on gigantic long-term deals, owed a lot of money. I don't think that's fair to them or the owners to have to try to deal with it. They're going to have to figure a way where they don't have their money taken away, but then also these new guys can still get similar deals. It's going to be a whole mess.
The best way to even have a chance of playing baseball in 2027 is something that'll never happen. Do you know what it is? For them to get a new commissioner. Because even if he could say the exact same things Rob Manfred's saying, but the players will not listen to Rob Manfred. That's just
I actually think compared to the other commissioners, I don't really think he's doing that bad of a job.
He's not. But the difference between him and Adam Silver is Adam Silver is very beloved by the players, it seems. Like the players like him. Players do not like Rob Manfred, and they don't get... Because Rob Manfred came in and did... I think a lot of the stuff he did was good for baseball, opposed to contrary belief. Like, it's worked. Like, the pitch clock has worked for them. It's sped up the games.
The base is being bigger.
Like that. Yeah, the base is being bigger.
No shift.
The ghost runner on second, no shift. Like, those things, what baseball purists got really mad about, and the players especially got mad about it, because they're like, we don't want to change the way we're playing. So, I mean...
honestly, though, I think they're all better for the sport.
I think it's been better for them, absolutely, but, like, the players aren't going to listen to bases,
and guess what? If the averages go up 0.005, that's still more hits.
Yep, and it's just, I think it's all worked out, I think, better for baseball in the long run. The ghost, adding the ghost runner on second.
Listen, like I said, that was an 18-inning game in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you're trying to save arms too. Like you don't want to have to be throwing position players.
In the postseason, there is no ghost runner. They did the perfect thing of like.
I think it's awesome. Someone was asking for a ghost runner in the playoffs. I think that's stupid. Let them play.
I don't love it in the postseason because like that's when you are like, all right, all hands on deck, like whatever. Honestly, if they add it in the postseason, I wouldn't even be mad because I'm like, it is annoying to watch, an 18-inning game and when it's a World Series, okay, fine, but like. You're staying up till 3 a.m.,
I did stay up till 3 a.m., I did. But, no, I think he's done a lot of good for baseball. But, like I said, the one thing he's really bad at is relationships. And that's kind of what you need as a commissioner more than anything because you got to get the owners on your side, which I think they are for the most part. But you also got to get the players on your side. And right now, at least, he doesn't seem like he has that.
I think they need to find a way to not impose on any of the current contracts, and I think that's going to be the problem. Is so many guys have long-term deals, and I don't think that's
because what do you do with the cap? Like, what is the cap set at when you have long-term deals?
You're just going to have to like disregard it and act like it's
do you go to the league
deal?
Average and like, or do you go to the top and cap it at the top right now? Like
the players' union does not budge. We saw this back. What was it? 94, 92?
They canceled the season in 95.
95. We saw this happen. Like the players' union does not, in baseball at least, does not step down at all. NBA, they allowed the second apron, which is going to be terrible for them. Whereas
Yeah, I mean, I think the average guys are getting more money because the floor. I think they like that.
the bad guys are getting more money, but all these guys that were in the middle that used to be getting overpaid because guys were like just throwing, teams were throwing money. Now they're not getting them because teams are like afraid to give more than 2 players a max
The
deal.
players' union's job is to get everybody more money, not just the top guys more money.
But it's not the top guys are getting the same money. It's all the guys in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like Keegan Murray just got like $27 million a year.
That's nothing nowadays.
Yeah, but it's nothing in the NBA, but $27 million a year for Keegan Murray, I'm not sure he's complaining very much.
That argument does not matter. You know that the players don't look at it in terms of like I'm sure if they were used to like 5 million a year, you know what I mean? Like, but it's what they've grown used to. It's what being compared to their peers that they want as much as they can get to prove they're great. You know, that's the biggest disconnect is like
compared to his peers.
What I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if I was playing the NBA, I'd be playing a sport that I love. I would take $2 million and I would be making so much money and I'd get everything I need to live. And
I like the second. I think the second apron's good for basketball. I think it's
terrible.
Well, it's done exactly what Adam Silver wanted to do.
It's given us parity and it's making it hard for a team to build a prolonged chance at success.
More people are watching. More people are watching. With it, highest rated finals in forever.
They say things like that. I think there's just 85 platforms people are watching on it. I think the way they count viewership, I think, changes, and I'm not sure.
Well, you know what they realized? This last playoffs was one of the best playoffs we've ever had. So they're like, if it's going to create better basketball and more parity, and there's more good teams, which means more good games, then that's what they want.
I think you should let good GMs have the opportunity to build a long-term success. But if you draft 3 guys who are good, you're screwed.
The Thunder did it, and they paid all their guys.
That hasn't kicked in yet. They haven't lost any of their pieces yet.
Yeah, but they just re-signed. Yeah, but you're gonna have to fix the role players. That's how it always used to be. Like the Heat, when they had the big 3, just reshuffled the role players after every year.
That was a different league, but now when the league's deeper than ever, you're gonna have maximum 3 guys, and they're gonna lose Caruso and Hartenstein and
then
they're gonna lose.
Your job's to replace them. That's
I know, but
the GM's job.
If you have 3 top guys, you can only have like minimum guys around them. That's kind of the problem. Is like you made it hard to build sustained success, and I feel like you should be rewarding those teams. And it's they're homegrown guys. They made smart trades, and then now they can't keep it.
But you also realize it's going to help that guys aren't going to bounce around as much anymore.
I think more guys are going to bounce around.
The Stars won't. The Stars won't.
The Stars never bounce around anyways.
Well, the Stars don't bounce around.
They bounce around because they get traded because they
Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, he did leave. The Stars bounce around more than ever, but that's because they get unhappy and then they want to go somewhere where they have a better chance at winning. But the reason why their teams never win anymore is because they go to the team and then they spend all the money on them, and then they have no opportunity around them.
There's a lot of guys who just bounce around, and now that you're going to get, I think, more guys stay. Like I don't think Giannis doesn't want to leave Milwaukee.
Giannis wasn't leaving he didn't leave with the second apron though. Like that doesn't make sense.
Jalen Brunson's taking pay cuts with the Knicks to make it work. Guys will do it.
I think his dad is getting
his dad's not on the staff anymore, so
no. But when he was there and he got all that money in the beginning, I think weren't they also under investigation for that? I think whatever.
I didn't think they were under investigation for it.
I thought they got in trouble for that. But anyways, we'll figure out the salary cap later. Luckily, that's not our job. I just think basketball made it too strict and baseball's too loose. And I think somewhere in the middle. I liked the NBA's old system. Honestly, I thought that was perfect.
You know what basketball system's actually, it's just the football system. Like you do realize that, right? It's the football system.
But basketball
you got to win with a quarterback on a rookie contract, and then once you pay him, you got to get innovative.
Okay, but that's not the same as the football system. The football system, though, or the basketball system has a clear cap for each individual player where they have a ceiling. Whereas football's the quarterbacks each year are just competing in how much money they can get. You know what I mean? There's not 10 quarterbacks all making $43.2 million because that's the ceiling for their.
No, but the quarterback's going to make $60 million, which means you're only going to have this much money left for everyone else, which is kind of like in basketball.
But there's no limit on how much that quarterback makes. There's not a hard limit.
So you would rather not have a hard limit? So Luka get paid $75 million, and then you only have $20 million for the rest of your roster?
Hard limit. It's just the second apron's too strict. So
you can go into it. You're allowed to go into it. Owners won't
You're
do
not.
it, but
If
you're
you
allowed
go
to.
into it, your team is screwed for the next 10 years. You lose your draft
Yeah,
pick. You
you
can't make a
lose
trade to get
draft
out
picks,
of
you
it.
lose luxury tax, but if you want to, like think about the Thunder right now. Why would they not want to go into it? They're keeping all their guys.
No,
Might as well just
because
keep
you're
running
getting
it back.
okay. Like the tax was a good way to prevent teams from spending it. Now you lose draft picks. You don't have a first round pick, and
But
you
the
can't
Thunder
make any
literally can't
trades.
draft players right now.
I don't think the Thunder have ever wanted to spend more money because they're a small market team and they don't have the ability to do
I
that.
think you could think about it though. This is just an
Where's
example.
that
It
money
doesn't have to
coming
be the
from?
Thunder. Like put the Thunder's roster in LA with the Lakers organization. Like it's like would they be like, well, we literally can't draft anybody. We don't have a roster spot open.
I think the second apron is a little too constrictive. And I think we're going to see that when these stars have a 1-year window before their team has to get torn apart every year. But we'll see.
We'll see how long the Thunder can do it because they just re-signed all their guys back up.
If
so.
there is any team that could, based on the amount of absurd picks that they got from that Paul George trade that keeps on giving, I feel like that's almost done, right?
That goes for a little longer, I think, but
Paul
I think
George.
2026 because you couldn't trade in consecutive drafts. So it was like every other year.
It's just funny
It's like-
that trade keeps on giving. But
It is.
that's gonna
That
wrap
one-
up. We win.
There's a lot of them that do that.
This.
a
I
lot
don't
of
know if
them
this
do
is
that.
our actually, or I don't know if this is our longest episode, but we're making great pace until I mentioned the salary cap 30 minutes ago.
You brought up baseball salary cap. That's what happened. You talk about money, I'll get into it.
We'll see. Well, let us know what you guys think. Make sure to check out all of our socials on Instagram.
You want to talk
TikTok,
about the hockey? You want to talk about the hockey?
No, I don't
salary cap?
know
Those
anything
guys
about
make
that.
nothing. Those guys make nothing.
and they do
It's
it for the love
crazy.
of the sport, which is what
They
we would
do.
like to think.
They all play. They all play.
Check out YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, all of which have shorts from this podcast. Our next episode will be on Thursday, where we'll lay no otherwise.
Well, the
we
episode
might-
will be on Friday. The episode will be
on
on Friday.
Friday, recorded on Thursday. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.